Hello and welcome to Flashback. This time we delve back to 1976, back in the days when boxing news was only 20 pence. So a fair number of years ago, and grabbing the headlines on this particular day all those years ago was Britain's heavyweight Joe Bugner, who at the age of 25 announced his retirement. And you know, with hindsight, it's almost amusing to hear people say, like his manager, who said Bugner unlikely to make a comeback. This was according to his then manager Andy Smith. Once he has made his mind up, Andy said, he sticks to it. Well, bear in mind this was January the 9th, 1976. We were told that Joe Bugner would not be coming back. Well, in October, he did indeed come back. He knocked out Richard Dunn in one round. He lost then to Ron Lyle the following year, and again he had a little hiatus until 1980. He beat Gilbert Acuna, who would find a bit more fame a few years later by being Frank Bruno's first professional opponent. But then Joe Bugner was knocked out by Ernie Shavers in 1982. That triggered another minor layoff before he came back and started to try and piece his career back together again. He beat Winston Allen in 1983, but went on to lose to future world title challengers Marvis Frazier and Stefan Tangstad by 10-round decision, and hung up the gloves again. But that wasn't it. And despite what people said, once he's made his mind up, he most certainly did not stick to it, as he came back yet again 1986, had quite a rich vein of form in those three fights, beating fringe contenders James Tillis, David Bay, and also beating former champion Greg Page, all over 10 rounds. And in his then native Australia, he had of course moved from Britain, which he now dislikes and is quite open about his dislike about the country, to Australia. Then of course in 1987 came the showdown with Frank Bruno, White Hart Lane, and Bruno bludgeoned Bugner to defeat in 8 rounds. That really did look like the end. It really looked like Joe Bugner has made his mind up and stuck to it. However, 8 years later, Old Man Joe was back again, gloves back on, fighting once more, and this time he actually racked up a decent record, 8 wins against 1 defeat. In 1998, he did actually pick up the very, very lightly regarded WBF heavyweight title when he beat an equally ancient James Bone Crusher Smith in a rather bizarre and slightly farcical bout in 1998, before eventually retiring in 1999 when he beat American journeyman Levi Billups. But, you know, who knows? It's 1999, now we're in 2014. I think perhaps, though, it is too late for Joe Bugner to make yet another comeback. But with old Joe, you just don't know. I'll see you next week for yet more Boxing News Flashback. See you then. Thanks for listening.